Welcome to Empowering the Next Generation podcast. I am Helen Veru. This podcast is dedicated to help anyone connected to preteens and teens to give them tools, empower and inspire teachers, high school senior leaders, and parents to build the future leaders of tomorrow. We discuss about controversial and relevant topics related to the world of education, the main problems you are facing, and solutions to help you navigate your journey. We want to make a positive change in education by bringing on experts that will give you a different perspective on how you can solve the hardship you are facing today. Hello, everyone, and welcome again to Empowering the Next Generation podcast with me, Coach Helen. I'm so glad we're here. You are here with us. You are listening to what we offer to you. You know that in this podcast, we are here to ignite school communities, develop leaders, and create meaningful connections. So this is what we do. I encourage you to like, comment, and share what we are doing. And also, I would like you, if you want to grow in your entrepreneurial journey, as an educator, I would encourage you to join my free masterclass called From Educator to CEO, because at the end of the day, you have your message, your story to share to the world. So today, we have an amazing guest speaker again. Her name is Kathleen Eckert. She's the author of School Transformation Through Teacher Appreciation. She is as well a principal dedicated to building cultures where teachers feel valued and supported. She's currently leading at Central High School in Keller. She balances high expectations with connection and belonging, bringing practical, proven strategies to inspire and equip school leaders. So I am so blessed that she's here because she's going to talk about her book, and I feel it's so needed right now in the world of education. We need more principals who really understand the heart of teachers and how they can empower their teachers so they can give 110% in their job. So welcome, Caitlin, with us. I am so grateful that you chose to be here. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited. I love loving all my teachers, and I'm excited to be able to share ideas with people.
Yes, it's so needed, especially in the world of education right now, where it's really hard and overwhelming for teachers. I feel that what you are offering, your voice is needed. So, your book centers on teachers' appreciation as a lever for transformation. So, what was the moments or pattern that you've noticed as a principal that made you realize appreciation wasn't just nice, but necessary for real change in school?
It actually started before I became a principal. I was a softball coach, and we had a maintenance guy that would come work on my softball field. And I would give him softball shirts, sit and chat with him when he was working on my field. And when I put in a work order, he's out there in Mark would be there in like a day, if not the same day. And when baseball would put in a work order, it would take months for him to come out. And that really opened my eyes at that point to just sitting and having conversations with Mark and saying, "Hey, tell me how your kid's doing." And just doing that and then giving him a few little things, it really changed our interactions. And so when I moved into school leadership, I took that with me and just started thinking, okay, what can I do for my teachers? My first day as a middle school principal, I met with my secretary, said, what can I spend on teachers and how much do we have? And that's where we just started planning. I didn't ask her, how many kids do we have? I didn't ask her any of that. What are the criteria for this district? Because I was new to the district, and what can I do for my teachers? Ironically, in that district, it wasn't much. I could do 2 meals a year, and that's it. Couldn't even buy them a school shirt. So I had to get very creative and find ways to appreciate them that were very inexpensive, if not free. And it just slowly just catapulted from there.
I love it. So, what led you to be a principal? Because obviously, it's totally different from what you were doing. So, what led you to become a principal?
Actually, there was a lady named Kathleen Richardson. I was a head softball coach, history teacher, and over girls athletics at a high school. And she said, "You need to start your master's." And I was like, "Oh, I've got no desire to do that. No, I'm good. I'm good." And she's like, "No, you really need to start." And she kind of stayed on me. And I started my master's. Had never thought about it, had just planned on teaching and coaching my whole career. But after her kind of riding me a little bit, I started my master's and dived off into administration. And I've been in, this is my 22nd year in administration. So it's been a while.
That's a long time. So I
Yeah.
guess you've seen two sides you see of the education, world. You've seen the education, the educator's side, and you've seen as well the principal side, the admin side. And
Yeah.
obviously you want to fill that gap. And you talk a lot about giving teachers voice. What are some of the ways, the concrete ways that you've done in your school that really show appreciation to your teacher voice and really direct influence decisions and innovation and as well as student outcomes? How does it resonate? How do you actually demonstrate that?
The easiest and the fastest way for a principal to start giving teachers a voice is think about there are decisions that we have to make throughout the year that are little inconsequential decisions that I don't care what the outcome is. Just tell me what we're doing. That's the
Yes.
easiest thing to put up for a vote in front of your staff and say, "Hey, what do y'all want to do?" And I guess an example would be something I've done this year. This is more like a level two decision. A teacher came to me and said, "When we do our hour lunches, could we move our hour lunch for that month that we do for our students to what they call the dead day, which is a final exam day where we have finals first period and eighth period and nothing in the middle other than classes? Could we put our hour lunch there because it's a dead day instruction wise?" And so this last faculty meeting, I was like, "All right, guys, I need to know what we're doing," and put the vote out there. Do we leave it where it's at, or for December and May, do you want me to move our monthly hour lunch to dead day? 98.4% said to move it. So then I emailed out to the staff saying, "Okay, this is our percentage and we're moving it." Another one I did here um, is we would have what's called schedule scamper in August, and then we had open house in September. And I'm like,
Okay.
why are we asking teachers to be here 2 nights? Why aren't we bringing this open house to the schedule scamper and
Wow.
doing it before, like meet the teacher with elementary kind of? And so I put it up to a vote with my teachers last year at this campus. And this year they had voted. So this year we combined the schedule scamper and the
Mm.
open house before the first day of school. So the
Mm.
teachers were in their rooms and the kids came through, and it was a true meet and greet and not a "why'd you give my kid a zero" conversation. And then we went and had a big pep rally down in the gym. So we combined those two events to take that off their plate. So when you're looking at stuff, just something as simple as those kind of things, and then sharing the results, because on that it was like 70% ish wanted to combine and the others didn't. So
Mm.
you share that, and when you share the results, the ones that voted against it don't complain because they
Mhm.
know how many
The
voted
magic.
for it. Mhm. So
Yeah.
little things like that's a great way to start giving your teachers voice.
So I guess you're a great listener as a principal. And that's a skill that I feel is so needed in education. So you're a great listener. You are in service of your community because
Mhm.
you realize that you're in that position not to make their job harder, but to work with them and help them in their journey so it's less difficult for them. So I feel as well it's the heart because I guess that you've been in that position before and you are becoming the person that you wish you had as a principal, I guess, when you had all these years of teaching. So it's so wonderful. I feel anyone listening to us, this is a kind of leadership that we want. We want leaders who listen to us, leaders who actually take into consideration our well-being, leaders who really understand the heaviness of teaching and how they can actually make our job even easier. So thank you so much, Kathleen, for sharing that. So many leaders worry that focusing on connection and belonging might lower expectations. So how do you balance high expectations with genuine care and fun? And why do you believe those things actually strengthen performance rather than weaken it?
I this is kind of be giving away a secret. I have a
Yes, we
staff
love
of
that.
235, so I have
Wow,
a
that's
really big staff.
yes.
Um, I my memory as I'm getting older is not the best. I'm looking down right now at my little desk and there's post-its everywhere. What I've done is you've got to show the teachers you care about them as an individual. You can't just go up and say, "How are you today?" So I have an Excel spreadsheet on my phone that I've actually set up as an app. So this morning, when I was walking the halls before school, I went by one of my art teachers' rooms and I was able to say, I looked before I went in and I was able to say, "How are you doing?" Because she'd recently had a diagnosis that she's not real comfortable with. And so she's trying to adjust. So I went in and asked specific about that. Another one is I went to one of my culinary teachers' room and I'm like, "Hey, how was your daughter's competition this weekend?" And just
Wow.
knowing that much about them. And when I hear things, I just type it into that spreadsheet. And then before I walk in, if I or before they come to meet with me, I look at that real quick to let myself know this is what it's got their spouse's name, kids' names, if mom is sick, if dad is sick, those
Wow.
things like that, I just keep track of so that when I talk to them, I'm talking to them personally. And when
Yes.
you do stuff like that and you make them feel valued as a person, when you do appreciation things, you talk to them authentically, you give them voice, when at a faculty meeting, I model a strategy that I think would be good in their classrooms, half my staff will now try it. You don't have to say, "I need you doing this level." When they know you care, they're going to do what you ask.
That's
And
it.
that I think is what a lot of people miss. They've got to know you care, and then they'll do whatever you want. I'm in a very unique situation. I was a middle school principal for 10 years, and then I got recruited to another district to a district level position for 2 years. It was, I'm not cut out for central office. But then my old district called me back, and the high school I'm at is the one that the middle school feeds into that I was at for 10 years. So I came in knowing staff and community. But right now, when I start looking around and I'm starting to think about, I've got a couple retiring this year. I've already got a waiting list of teachers that are wanting to come work with me again. Whether
Great.
they interacted with me at the middle school and they've now moved off to other districts and want to come back. But I have people reach out to me every year. "Hey, do you have any openings?" Because
Mhm.
they know I authentically care about their person. And when they seek you out, all you got to do is say, "Hey, would you play this quick Gim Kid in your room with your kids?" And they're going to be like, "Yes, Miss Eckert." And they're going to go do it.
Mhm. I love that. I had to pause a moment because it's very necessary to have more principals who think like you. I feel like you don't see your staff as just employees. You see them as family. You see them more than just people working for you. I feel like you're trying to build that community of care, of love, and I don't know if you know about John Maxwell, but John Maxwell talks a lot about the power of leadership, and he talks about those laws. And you embody those laws, the law of connection, the law of trust. And I feel this is so necessary because when you don't need to ask much. When you model what you want people to do, it automatically reveal first of all your heart, and it reveals as well what people can do for you. So I really commend you on that. And I encourage anyone listening to us to get this book so they can transform their community, so they can actually see that by appreciating teachers, they actually allow the community to give 110%. So I know that you've created a culture where teachers are willing to try new things, and this is what we talked about. But can you just share a specific leadership move that helped shift your teachers from compliance to commitment? I know that you have done this already. You share two ways already. But what are the mistakes that you've learned along the way? Share with us two mistakes.
One of my mistakes would be, I, at the end of the day, I am a people pleaser to an extent. Okay.
Mm,
And it's when teachers come to administrators, they don't come sharing the good stuff. They come to complain. Then you fix it, and then they come and complain about something else. And then you fix
mm,
that, and then they complain about something else. And it just becomes this never ending cycle. And you're like, oh my gosh. And I had a teacher sit me down about 5 years ago and go, Miss Eckert, you are not going to make everybody happy all the time. And I'm
wow.
like, no, but they're my teachers. I have to take
Mm,
care of them. But it really helped having a teacher tell me that, because it did make me realize, okay, I need to quit trying to chase making everybody happy, and I need to chase ensuring my staff is taken care of, and ensuring that, you know, when you have conversations with teachers, like I guess it was earlier this year, I've got a teacher that is in a math tested subject class that's going to need to miss 2 to 3 weeks because of a family illness. And as a
wow.
building principal, in the back of my head, I'm like, oh my God, 3 weeks. I'm not going to be able to find a sub. But I had to look that teacher in the eye and tell her, this is just a job. At the end of the day, this is a job. It's my job to worry about the school. It's your job to take care of your family.
Wow.
And I really do try to take care of my teachers. So when Miss Horton told me you're not going to make everybody happy all the time, it was very hard to hear, but
Mm,
it also helped me. It helped me
mm.
realize, okay, I do need to take that into consideration and look at my staff more as a whole instead of maybe chasing that one negative teacher. Maybe that one negative needs to go to another campus.
Excellent, excellent. Um, Amazing. So much good things that you've said about the power of really allowing people to not allow their opinions really define your reality. I feel it's so necessary as a teacher, as a principal. So how do you actually balance the workload? Because you always care so much for people, but you have so much admin to do. How do you actually balance this stuff where you have that workload that you need to provide? Because I guess you have a lot of reports to write. And how do you like, because sometimes it can be overwhelming. Do you actually have a life balance for yourself?
I actually I balance pretty well. I have, this is my 12th year as a building principal.
Mm,
So it's one of those, I got very lucky when I came into my current position because since the district called me, I got to bring in my assistant principals. So I got to bring
mm,
people that I knew and I trusted. I
good.
do think it's important to have people around you trust so you can delegate those reports and you can delegate certain things to them. Because one of the things that I did learn my first year as a principal, I had to write something called a campus improvement plan, and nobody
Okay.
had ever trained me on that. And then I
Mhm.
had a budget. I was lucky because of being over all of girls' athletics at a high school, I was familiar with the budget. But if I had never done that, there are things that even in programs and getting ready, you don't get ready for. So things like my campus improvement plan, I go to my next one that's trying to be a principal. I'm like, here you go, you get to write our campus improvement plan this year. And I throw them to the wolves, but I'm there to help and guide them through it to where when they take on their own campus, those little things we don't think about are there. So I do delegate. It was very hard for me at first because I'm a little bit of a control freak. And
Mm.
there are still some things I
Right.
will not delegate. I will never, ever, ever delegate hiring. If there's one thing principals need to hear, do not delegate hiring to your assistant principals. Because if you get somebody that's not a fit, you're the one documenting them and having to work with them, not your assistant. So that's
Mhm.
one thing I won't delegate, but I do delegate a lot because there are trust factors there, and I know they'll get it done. I may give them a deadline of a few days before it's due to the district so I can review it or something like that. But I think that trusting your assistant principals and putting people in positions around you to support you is the big thing. Um,
Mhm.
Today is crazy. I had to push 4 days of snow into, I've got one day I had to push 4 calendar days into. So I'm going to be out and about running around the building today. I will not have time for email. So there's about 2, 3 nights a week I have to sit down and just do email at the house. But most of my stuff I can get done during the day, come in a couple hours early and get it done. It's just
Mhm.
setting those priorities and delegating.
I love it. I love it. This is so straightforward and so impactful. I feel like when you have a team that you can trust, it can definitely help you in your journey as a principal, and it can relieve your workload as well. So from for principals and school leaders listening to us, okay, who feel really stuck on survival mode, okay, so can you share one strategy um of your book, okay, that they could implement this week to start changing their school culture towards appreciation to trust?
The easiest thing you could do, and I actually posted this. I started a Facebook group about 3 or 4 weeks ago about teacher and staff appreciation.
Mhm.
I think it's just called Teacher and Staff Appreciation. And I
Okay.
shared this strategy the other day. These are scratch offs. Okay. I make these in Publisher, and on under this sticker, this is a sticker from Amazon. Under the sticker, it may say Jean Pass. It may say a sweats pass where you get sweats. It could say a class covered, a duty covered. We've got things called a Jean bubble, which if you turn it in, the bubble is the whole school gets a Jean day, so a teacher can call a Jean day for all 200 plus staff. If they have like a Jean balloon, they can call it for a department. I get donations of gift cards that are about $10 each. Some of these say gift cards and things like that. Very, very easy and inexpensive. You can come up in my book, I do, and in that Facebook post, list lots of free things you can put on here.
I
If a
love it.
teacher, every faculty meeting on the back of the agenda, it'll say who had perfect attendance the month before. They get a scratch off. And I have this little tub that they choose from. They had sometimes we do a all out, all admin grabs a stack and we hit the hall. And if a teacher's at their door for a passing period, we just hand them out. We do that about 4 or 5 times a semester just to positively reinforce being the halls. Um, my attendance ladies gave us a thing where they had teachers had taken perfect attendance for the whole 9 weeks. So I gave them one at the faculty meeting. They're just very cheap, inexpensive. Another way we're using them this year is it's also in that Facebook post. We made these happy birthday wreaths from our Sunshine Committee, and they get a birthday card with a scratch off in it. And
Mhm.
so the teachers just love these because I've had a teacher today stop me, hey, I've got a class covered. When can I use it? I do ask them to let me know about 5 days in advance because either myself or an administrator is covering the class. Because that's
Mhm.
also a way for me to ensure that I'm staying in touch with what's going on in the classes, and so are my administrators. And so just handing these scratch offs out, the teachers love them because you don't know what you're going to get. These are stickers. They come in a roll of like 500 on Amazon for like $10. And I make these in Publisher. Anybody, my email's on my website. You can email me and I can send you the template. These come 9 to a sheet and I just cut them out, pop a sticker on them. So very
I love it.
easy.
I love it. I love it. This is totally transformative. I feel that your ideas really allow even educators to realize that their value, they can be valued by the right principle. And if you have done it, it is possible that many principals can do it as well. So I feel that this message is necessary. I would encourage anyone listening to us to, I will put the link in the comment section when they can go into your Facebook community, Kathleen, and they can actually download your teacher appreciation list. And also make sure if you want Kathleen to talk in one of your events, make sure that you connect with her, because at the end of the day, we are here to bring transformation in school. So thank you so much, Kathleen, for joining us. And anyone who wants to start their entrepreneurial journey, please make sure that you actually join my free masterclass. So I see you, anyone, and make sure that you like, comment, and share. See you, everyone, and thank you, Kathleen.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for listening to this episode, and make sure you connect with us on Instagram at The Case for Success. Check also my Linktree and become an affiliate of the Success Guide for Teens Academy, a program that will empower your school community as a parent, teacher, and high school senior leader. Do not hesitate to reach out, comment, and share. Until then, see you in the next episodes.